Casual Magic has been sponsored by Quiver, maker of the Quiver and Bolt deck cases and other fine deck holding accessories. Use the code CASUAL on their website for 10% off your order. We're also sponsored by Architect, the premier site for hosting your decks on the internet. I love them and they love me, and it seems like a good reason for you to use them. This episode is also brought to you by Monopool, a fast-growing marketplace for Magic the Gathering that makes buying and selling cards easy. Their optimizer helps you get the best value when buying cards, and their team is focused on making it a great experience for buyers and sellers alike. You can also support Casual Magic directly by going to our Patreon at patreon.com/ShivamB. And now, on with the show. Hello, welcome to Casual Magic, the show where we talk about the fun side of Magic the Gathering. My name is Shivam, Bhatt, and Casual Magic is brought to you by Architect, Quiver, and Monopool. And today I am very glad to actually, you know what, one of the things about this show is that I like to just use it as a way to get cool people that I like to talk to on the internet to talk to me for an hour by using it as an excuse that I'm going to put your face online. And it works way more than you think it would. But today I'm joined by Aiden Moher, who is a journalist and a writer and host of the Fun Factor podcast, and also just a Twitter Blue Sky mutual of mine that I just like to talk to all the time about old video games and books, because we share apparently a lot of pedigree of our history together. And yeah, dude, I'm very stoked to talk to you because, for one thing, you are writing a book on my literal favorite. I mean, I realize I say my favorite to the point that it is a meme. However, my all-time favorite video games are Civilization and Suikoden and Street Fighter. And you're writing a book on Suikoden, which automatically puts you at a very peak tier for me because I love Suikoden more than I don't have a lot of excuse to talk about Suikoden, so I'm using any chance I get to talk about it because it's Suiko. I love Suiko.
Oh, it's so good. And I mean, I convinced somebody to let me write a book about it because I love it so much and didn't have a chance to talk about it much because for a long time it seemed like a dead series. And now it's back. And now we can talk about it. And people know what we're talking about. So it's great.
I mean, we'll talk about Magic too because I'm contractually obligated to at least talk about Magic on a Magic podcast. But because I'm just going to rant for 10 seconds because this is one of those things that just been building up for decades. And that is that in RPGs, in JRPGs specifically, which you also wrote a book about, like Japanese RPGs, didn't you?
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, I wrote and published a book called Fight Magic Items. It's a history of Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, and the rise of Japanese RPGs in the West. Came out from Running Press. It covers sort of exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah.
It feels like you're very much in the Chris Kohler mode of
Kohler is a huge inspiration for me.
He's a dude that I'm very glad to have gotten to hang out with a lot, and really should have him on the show. But he's a genius, dude. Kohler. Anyways, I like to have episodes where I get to talk about my history as a games journalist and all the people I get to work with. But I believe that there have been a number of dead ends of RPGs in history that were deeply, deeply innovative and completely just ignored for dumb reasons. And where you could have taken the track to go this way and the games industry went that way. For instance, Phantasy Star. Phantasy Star is one of my pet RPGs. And in Phantasy Star 4, it both introduced this notion of a manga-driven story with panels to tell you the storyline, and also the macro system where your 5 guys get set up and then they would launch this super attack if you lined it up in the proper way, and you could get it to repeat and do it over and over again, which was incredible and I think ignored until Final Fantasy 12 or whatever. And then Dragon Quest 4 and 5 and 6 with the job system and that very deep, intricate thing that the other half of JRPGs just completely was siloed away unless you played the Final Fantasy 5, which in America obviously nobody got to do for a very long time. And Suikoden, because Suikoden is one of the greatest storytelling achievements in Japanese RPGs. It is certainly the greatest soundtrack in Japanese RPGs, because I know I have 18 or 19 different OSTs from the first 3 games. And also, because like for those of you who don't understand Suikoden came out in 1996, and it was on the PlayStation 1, and then it came out the sequel in 1998, Suikoden 2, and then Suiko 3 came out on the PS2, 4 or 5 came out on the PS2. They were the less talked about, the better, and Tear Crease, which was the weird. It's fine. It exists. It's like the strategy, their version of Suikoden Tactics, and it was not a good tactics game. However, the point about the first two games is that they were created by Konami when Konami was at peak height. When Konami was making Beatmania money hand over fist, Dance Dance Revolution money hand over fist, MGS, Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, and their Kukeha Club, the soundtrack team on Konami, was literally the greatest soundtrack team in the history of video games. And they decided we're going to see what happens if we take the best Japanese music talent we've got and make them do an Irish themed series with tablas and with sitars. And it's like, wait, what? Irish and Indian music at the same time? Like, dude, you don't understand how good this is.
It's so good.
Yeah, the game, the story in the game is emotional. It's like you play it when you're 12 and it blows your mind. You play it when you're 40 and it blows your mind again. Mm-hmm. Unlike when like, oh, Eris died, I cried. Yeah, when you're an adult, you're like, that's a cliche-ass cliche. But when you're like, when you're playing Suikoden as an adult, you're like, oh my God, I missed the entire nuance of like political gamesmanship and of like actual society, like class system. It's like when you rediscover Final Fantasy Tactics, which is another of my Alzheimer's, and you were like, oh, this game is Marxist as hell. What? Suikoden and Suikoden 2 are possibly I would say that they're in the top 5 RPGs of all time, and they just got a remaster finally in America on all of the systems and downloadable, and you should buy it. And they don't sponsor me, but they love me a lot. And like when I was in Japan as part of One Up, I got to go to TGS the year Tear Crease came up, and I got to interview the producers of Suikoden 4 and Tear Crease. And I had an iPod Mini that they had released that was branded with all the different runes, and I got the one that was Suikoden 4 branded. And I went and I was talking to the producer, and he was like, I've never met an American who loves this game as much as you do. This is absurd. And literally he took my business card and then mailed me a crate of Suiko toys, the full Suikoden CCG, the soundtrack, and like all this extra bonus crap for Tear Crease. And it's just the literal greatest thing of all time. And
amazing.
Yeah, dude. And then I got Elena Danner, the magic artist, to draw the heroes of 1 and 2 on the back of a card for me. Actually, I'm going to show you right now.
Yes, please.
Sorry, I didn't invite you here to talk at you, but check this out.
I love this.
This is
amazing.
This is an artist proof that she did on the back of her command tower from the Avishkar or the Aethergrift set.
Oh my gosh.
She did this really cool command tower, and then she drew on the back of it the heroes of 1 and 2 about to do their unite attack, which yes, goddamn, that game is so good.
So good. And it's funny you bring up like Final Fantasy Tactics, and it like I replayed Final Fantasy Tactics recently because of the remaster, and then writing my book, and then when the remaster of Suikoden came out, I've been playing a lot of them too, and just the way I understand them in a way that I just didn't as a kid. Like they blew my mind as a kid, and I knew there was something there. I knew that there was something profound happening to me, but I didn't really understand sort of the political, sociological ramifications I was experiencing. And now I play them and I'm like, holy crap, like there's so much going on here. Like Final Fantasy Tactics is more relevant than it's ever been. And Suikoden's the same. And the way that like, so when I was playing Suikoden 2, I was also reading a book called Babel by Rebecca Kwang. And they both deal with like classism, colonialism, and sort of like the way revolution foments within empires and within fascist states. And I'm reading this book, and it's a fabulous book, and I'm seeing these themes mirrored in Suikoden and Suikoden 2, and I'm just like, man, like these guys were cooking. Like
Right.
the creator, like Junko Kawano and Yoshitaka Murayama, like when they were making these games, they were like green new game designers. Like they hadn't really done anything before, and I just out of nowhere, Murayama walked into there's a great story about Suikoden. Murayama, who is like the director and creator of Suikoden, he wanted to make a game based on Captain Tsubasa, which is like a soccer manga. But his boss didn't really like manga. So he went into the meeting and he's like, okay, I need to convince my boss to let me make an RPG with like a great supporting cast. So like, kind of like The Water Margin, which is a classic Chinese novel. Mm-hmm. He goes in and he says, I want to make a game. Like, think of like The Water Margin, like big, huge cast where like the secondary characters, the community is sort of the main character. And his boss was like, okay, great. Excellent. Water Margin RPG. You're on it. and Murayama went, okay. That's not what I meant. I guess that's what I'm making. And then he went on to just like cook, like seriously cook.
Like in The Water Margin is basically, it is a series that is right up there. It's one of the 4 classical Chinese texts alongside of like, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms and like Journey to the West. And I forget, like the 4th one's like Red something, but it's effectively the core of this story is that there's 108 fated characters who come together to fight against this great evil. And 108 is a sacred number in Hinduism. It's a sacred number in Buddhism, which is how it got transmitted to Japan. It's the number of beads on a rosary. And you collect all these characters, you come together. And I have been thinking about making a Suikoden EDH deck since the day I got Commander. Because I'm like, you know what? If I just fake it, nobody will question me if the theme is good enough to get like, 108. But like, you can't have, and the thing is, you would have to do the thing that the game does, which is like 60 of those characters are playable, and then the others are just kind of like castle-based NPCs, right? It's like mini games or whatever. So they can beat the lands. It's fine.
Yeah, but there you go.
Yeah, like that's the thing that Suikoden did that was so innovative is that like it's not just like, oh, we're going to collect all these people and we're going to adventure. It's also we're going to have a castle, and that castle is going to be full of mini games and sub stories and like just nonsense. It's like in the second game having the full on Iron Chef battle, and it's just, God damn it, it was so good.
So good. But what I really like about it is, so you can recruit 108 characters over the course of the game. They join your army, your group of rebels, but you recruit normal people. Like, yeah, like so many RPGs, you recruit
the laundry lady,
special people. Yeah. And you recruit people who are, do laundry, right? You recruit innkeepers and chefs and children and inventors and just like normal people. But you also, recruit the generals and, like famous mages, and you recruit this whole wide range, and it really touches on the way that war and conflict touches everybody.
Right.
And that everybody has a role in fighting back against, fascist states or imperialism or colonialism.
Yeah, imperialism, fascism. I mean, it just kind of like what was going on in Japan in the 90s to create both tactics and Suikoden, and this whole like notion of there's a whole class of these RPGs that are just like, we are being oppressed heavily. Yeah. And like, I mean, I realized the economic bubble had burst, and it was all okay. We are far afield. This is not Retronauts. This is Casual Magic. I got to come back. My friend, if I may call you that, it's just, this is so, you and I have so many things in common, and that just thrills me greatly. But you also live up in one of the other like just holy lands of magic, Victoria, because I know you go and like do your pre-release at the famed Yellow Jacket. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, I was there last
It's a very
weekend.
small store. But yeah, so like, do you play Canlander?
I don't actually, which is funny
because
God,
you're a Canadian
it is so big and
highlight?
popular here. And mostly just like out of self-preservation Like I already spend enough money playing Commander and I love Modern and stuff. And so it's just I know I would love Canlander, but I just if I started bringing those decks home, my wife would take issue, I think. So it is sort of out of self-preservation at this point, but I love the format dearly. I consume a lot of video, Surge and Ben's videos are always fabulous. North 100 and stuff, but
I'm a big fan. It is wild to me though. Like, I don't know how they just have so many Moxes on your island. Like, why are there so much power concentrated in that small radius?
It's a special place. It's a special place, man.
when did you get into Magic?
I've been playing Magic since Ice Age, back in the mid 90s. Ice Age Alliances is when we learned to play. So we had a teacher at my elementary school who started a Magic club just to teach everybody how to play, and that's where I learned how to play. And and I played a lot through. Like I played a little bit, I guess, through elementary school, but high school we went hard, me and my friends. And so that's when we were buying lots of packs, like playing a lot of Magic. After high school, we sort of went our separate ways as friends do. And Magic kind of took a backseat at that point around Tempest. I guess Visions.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like stopped buying cards at that point. And then like a decade passed, and then for some reason it was Dragon's Maze. I just like the yellow packs or something. I saw a poster, and which is like in hindsight hilarious.
Yeah, of all the sets.
I was just like living in Victoria, and I just was like, I just kind of want to buy a pack of Magic just for fun. And my wife was like, yeah, go for it. Like, why not?
Yeah, and my wife said that too. Yeah. Bigger regrets have never been made.
And exactly. And then so I got together with my friend. We were living in Victoria, but we grew up together playing Magic together. And we were like, okay, like let's just build $10 like decks. Like we didn't really understand Modern and Standard. Like
you're just kitchen tabling it.
Kitchen table, yeah. And we were like, let's each build a deck, or let's build 3 decks. And the idea was going to be that it was like a board game almost. So when we got together, it was like, hey, pull out the Magic decks, play some games. Obviously, that didn't go the way we intended it to. But we just got hard back into the game at that point. And the Yellow Jacket community was a huge part of why we were so drawn back into the game, because we found this group of people, and like Ben won't remember me, but I sure remember playing Ben at Yellow Jacket, on draft night. And,
the problem with playing against Ben Wheeler. The problem with playing against Ben Wheeler is that it always ends up like M. Bison in the Street Fighter movie, where it's like the most important match you've ever played, and to him it was Tuesday, right? Like,
100%. That's 100%. That's the experience.
People ask me pretty regularly, like, do you play Magic with Wheeler? How good are you? And I'm like, bro, my lifetime against Wheeler is something like 3 wins.
Yeah.
To 10,000 losses? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was Wheeler. I remember drafting, and I drafted something first pick, and then passed him a pack, and then he kind of like just gave me a look like, what? Because he like just auto slammed a card in that pack and looked at me like, what are you doing here, buddy? And that taught me a lot about Magic. I'm pretty sure that was Ben. But yeah, lots of great personalities, lots of great, people who just wanted everybody in the store to love Magic. And so Yellow Jacket was just hugely important, and
a good store is so important if you're going to have the game survive at all.
100%. Right? Yeah. And like Magic's changed a lot in Victoria since I lived there. Like Yellow Jacket was the big one, and now there's quite a few other stores. So like the pre-release, I went to the Avatar pre-release at Yellow Jacket last weekend, and it was a lot smaller than the Theros one that I went to however many years ago that was. But it still has that same feel, and you go in there, and like everybody I play with, I get together with a bunch of friends, and we go down together and meet up there, because I have friends who live in Victoria still. None of them could make it, just one. So he and I met. So I was just playing with a bunch of random people I didn't know, and everybody was so great. And that's not the experience I have at other stores. That's not the experience I read about online, and it just makes me recognize how like, no
Lucky.
pun intended, but how magical, the community around Victoria and Yellow Jacket is.
Yeah, I mean, the well, because it's already like they're already just so nice, and then on top of that, it's just a very fun place to kind of jam. And pre-release, especially, I've noticed it's just much more collegial. It's much more people. It feels more like a board game. We're all here to make sure everybody wins, as opposed to just
Yes.
like I'm here to be the end boss.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, look, somebody's gonna like take the day, but like everybody's just stoked to be there because it's like the one time everybody's actually happy for
Absolutely.
Magic.
Yeah. And that's the vibe, is it's just everybody's there having fun, and like,
And it helps that Avatar is actually a really good set.
oh, so good. It's like I'm a humongous Avatar fan, period. So I was excited about this set, even though I'm getting a little concerned about Universes Beyond. Avatar was a set for me, but the fact that they nailed it mechanically, like, I knew that they would get the flavor, right? The Magic and Avatar, the same way Final Fantasy or Lord of the Rings worked. But like the fact that the set just like rules,
Yeah, right.
was like not a surprise to me because Wizards is good at what they do. But holy smokes, this set is so good. It's so fun. Every game I played at pre-release was a blast.
It's like, Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy, and Avatar are what happens when you let somebody who really loves the property direct what a set looks like.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is also full of people who loved Spider-Man, but it's what happens when the pot is stirred by somebody's hands, so that's not just the people who are making the cards, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. I know.
And it's like it because it's so dramatic how you can tell the difference between love and care and just like, we've got to make this happen.
Yeah.
And it's wild. Like, I mean, just forget the levels of flavor there are. The actual mechanical depth to this is so much fun to play. Like, firebending, like when you read it, looks so awful. You're like, what? I just get stupid mana during my combat step and I can't do anything with it. And it turned out, no, you can actually break the game in half.
Yeah, because it changes the way that games play, right? It's like a mechanic that, makes me think about the combat phase differently. And airbending is like, I was sort of lukewarm on airbending too, and now I've played with it and I'm like, oh, this is like, you can airbend your own stuff to avoid like a board wipe. You can airbend like your opponents as a tempo move. You can airbend to get benefits from casting out exile. It's like, it's so broad. And then
earthbending, like it should be awful. You're giving it to him for 2 mana. It turns out that's actually a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And earthbending, making like land creatures, viable in something like
giving you the land back. Are you kidding me?
It's just fun. Like I've played games over the last week or so that just feel like games I've never played before.
Right.
Which is just really fun. And that's what you want. That's when you have a Universes Beyond set, that's what you hope it encourages and adds to Magic, is something that didn't exist within the game before.
It should make you want to sit there and go like, holy crap, I want to build a brand new deck like one I've never built before, because this is making me think. Like, for instance, with Final Fantasy, all of those stupid job select creatures, which are like, I come into play with an equipment, and then they printed Furion, the random hero of FF2 that nobody gives a crap about in the history of mankind, except it's got like the sickest Amano artwork. But
amazing.
Furion of all things, it just sits there and goes like, hey, if you make an equipment, I will give you 2 of them. And if it's a job select equipment, that means it gets a dude too, who's also going to stick around after the equipment leaves. And I was like, I need to build this right now. This is absurd. Yeah. And like, you look at airbending, which is, it took me a second to realize, I'm like, why does it do this? And I'm like, oh, Ong never kills anybody. Yeah. His whole thing is he doesn't kill them. He just fades you out for a minute.
Yeah.
But you come back whenever. And it's like, oh my God, the wrath of God just picks everybody up and throws them into the sky until they come back. I was like, that's so good.
Yeah.
I don't even like Avatar, and I respect that so much.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like a clever understanding of like the core themes of the show, right? And understands the characters and their motivations and what motivates that cycle of each of the kingdoms.
Right.
in Avatar, right? Because like the idea too that like this is one cycle of the Avatar, and the Fire Nations are the bad guys, and the Earth Nations, whatever, the Imperial, and that changes. But the fact that the game really understands like this is how the Earth Kingdom kind of would look. But here's also the Fire Kingdom, but a different side of it, because they do have wartime protesters. So it shows the side of, the Fire Kingdom where the people aren't happy about what the Fire Lord is doing and stuff like that. It shows like a depth of understanding.
Yeah, exactly that. Like the set, I mean, mind you, Chris Mooney sat there and is obviously going to color the set with their intentions of what they took from the show. But it's also, I mean, the show, I have a lot of problems with it because I found parts of it very weirdly anti-Hindu and kind of racist in a lot of ways. It felt very Orientalist because I saw it as a 35, 40-year-old and not as like a 12-year-old. And where I'm sure if I'd seen this as a kid, it would have imprinted on me and I would have been a very different person. But as an adult, I was like, well, like, but even if you don't like the thing, like I don't care for Warhammer at all. And I still know the Warhammer sets were unbelievable tour of like just triumphs of how to make a UB set.
Yes.
Oh, man. So what is your take on Magic right now? Like just in general speaking, do you think that this is a question that has been percolating amongst a lot of us lately, which is like, what do you think the balance should be between inside and outside?
It's such a tricky situation. Like I understand where Wizards is coming from, but I think, it's more Hasbro wanting to bring these outside IPs into Magic. And for me, I'm conflicted because on the one hand, I think that the oversaturation of Universes Beyond, while I get that it's appealing to say, hey, like, let's introduce all the Spider-Man fans to Magic, the Final Fantasy fans to Magic. What I've been watching happen is, you get a big swell within those communities of people discovering Magic. So like when Final Fantasy came out, my Blue Sky feed, which is, a ton of games journalists, blew up with Magic. Everybody was talking about Magic. Everybody was posting their packs and their decks, which was cool. It was so fun.
Right.
They're not posting about Magic anymore. Right. And so that worries me about retention of these new fans. Right. And so what are you giving up to reach these new communities? For the first time in a long time, I'm looking at the release calendar next year and saying, I'm going to skip that set. I don't care about Marvel. It's to the point now where I'm, Spider-Man, I decided I wasn't going to put any Spider-Man cards in my decks. Even though I'm not really much, I'm not a big lore guy. Like, I love the story. I shouldn't say that, actually. I love the story and the IP and the world and the characters. But when I'm building a deck, a lot of the time, I'm like, I just want this card in my deck. But I find it really hard to swallow having this fantasy or like kind of science fantasy setting that I then have like a card with actual New York City on it. Or like a guy on a computer, or the bagel.
Well, that was the same problem that I had with Doctor Who, which is that Doctor Who felt too much like, hey, this Leeds, or like, look, Paris, and like, what? No, this is not a plane that I don't want New York on a plane.
Yeah,
like, I don't want a guy on the computer or hot dog, hot dog.
Ninja Turtles is coming out in a few weeks, right? In January, I guess in a couple of months. I love Ninja Turtles, but like New York City is going to have more sets than Kaldheim. Like what? Like, I don't know. I just don't know about that.
That's fair, but like the New York City of Spider-Man and the New York City of Turtles.
You know what? But that's a fair point too, right? And like flavor is so important, and Magic has done such an incredible, unprecedented job of creating an IP and a flavor and a sense of place in a card game. And I just worry about them squandering that for kind of short term, gains of just selling a bunch of product to people who aren't going to stick with the game. And then are you going to lose people?
Well,
You know?
yeah, like I was talking to a game journalist friend of mine, and she was like, "Yeah, so what do you think like is going to happen?" And I said, "Look, what you're going to happen is with this inevitable flood of products, is that fans who are like the diehard, I'm going to get everything, are going to sit there and say, maybe not this one."
Yeah,
And
that's
how
me.
many maybe not this ones can you have before you end up like knocking the Jenga pieces out of the tower and falling over? Like, for instance, I was looking at next year's and I'm like, Lorwyn, I'm super in. Turtles, I was a hardcore Turtles kid.
Yeah.
Like, I realize it's not going to be for everybody, but I know that I am the target audience for that.
Yeah.
Fine. But like Trek, I mean, Strixhaven is one of my favorite settings. I'm super here for Strix.
Yeah.
The Hobbit, look, The Lord of the Rings was a great set. I had a lot of fun. I get you need to reprint the One Ring. Fine. Like, I'm okay with The Hobbit. It at least feels like fantasy. Yeah. Like, The Hobbit feels like it can seamlessly fit into a Magic deck, and you're not like, you're not wigged out by it because it's more just dwarves and halflings. It's fine. It's fantasy. Star Trek?
Yeah, man. Like,
I'm going to have Cloud piloting the Enterprise?
I know,
like,
right?
What?
Or like, I just like 3 years ago, if you sat down for a game of Commander, you'd have, whatever, Corvold versus Azusa versus whatever, right?
Not
now
Azusa.
You sit down for Commander.
You're right. You Azusa, not Azula. You're right.
Yeah, no, Azusa. But now you sit down for a game of Commander and it's like the Cabbage Guy versus Wesley Crusher versus
don't you dare talk about the Cabbage Guy.
A Transformer, versus whatever, versus David Tennant. And it's just like, those are fundamentally different experiences. And I really worry that, they're, what's the saying? Like, they're stealing from
robbing Peter to pay
whatever. Saying, hey, we're going to reach new audiences here. But if you're losing 2 long-term fans for every one you gain from these UB sets, I just worry that that's not math that's going to
Except, I agree to an extent. Except there's the weird thing is that Magic is printing more than ever and selling more than ever. I mean,
did Spider-Man though?
Spider-Man notwithstanding, Spider-Man is but that's the thing that's weird is Spider-Man is the outlier for many years.
Yeah.
Because as opposed to like all these like Edge of Eternities, you can't find for the love of anything, right?
Yeah.
Or Dragonstorm. Nobody saw Dragonstorm.
One of the reasons, and I've been actually I like Universes Beyond, I think, more than most people. Like, I do largely consider Magic a game system above everything else. But like, the thing that really kind of gets me when I think about UB and where the game is at is like, Wizards has been cooking lately. Like, Edge of Eternity, Dragonstorm, Lorwyn looks amazing. Like, even going back to stuff like Neon Dynasty, like, they've been making and developing some incredible sets. And so to see them having to sort of shift focus to create these UB sets, probably not based on where creative's taking them, but where Hasbro's partnership team is taking them, is just worrisome to me. It's cool. Like, if you'd sat me down and said, hey, we're going to start doing like external IP in Magic, where do you want to go, Aiden? I would have said Lord of the Rings, Final Fantasy, Avatar, right? So like, I've been feasting personally.
I mean, look,
but like, what else can sustain
how many other things are there that fit?
There's not many. I can't think of many, right? Like
Dragon Quest would be amazing, right? It's like
but like, that's not going to sell.
No, it'll sell to me.
Well, I would buy 1 million packs,
right? But it's like, what are you going to do? You can't have like the John Madden like crossovers. Not going to work.
Like, I think about NFL Magic cards way too much because or like wrestling, like, where are the fandoms like that can support stuff at the scale that Final Fantasy or Lord of the Rings or Avatar does. I just don't see where there's like, Hasbro wants growth. I just don't know that how do you get bigger? How do you continue to like make Hasbro happy with these partnership sets. But what I'd really like, so like in my head, like the solution here is that like Magic as a game system, give me stuff like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Spider-Man or wrestling, WWF,
Wrestling,
WWE, you know, like, but like keep them out of competitive formats. Like, I think the big mistake is putting all of these cards in standard instead of having them as supplementary sets. Release this stuff as like a standalone experience that integrates with Magic if you want it to. So you could just come in and you could just buy the Avatar stuff and you could have an Avatar card game that uses a Magic game system. And then for people who want to integrate it into their stuff, that's fine. And that's the way Doctor Who and Warhammer worked, right? It's like my brother and his friends, they just bought the 4 Fallout Commander sets, right? And to them, that's just like a little game. It's like a little Fallout card game. Yep. And I think that that's a successful way to bring all of this stuff in. Like if I had like just an Avatar card game using Magic's game system, like that would be really great. It would fit seamlessly. But the fact that like UB is now turning into an opt out, you can't opt out. Right? Yeah. Like
there's no opt out. Well, it's like,
no opt out
like
anymore. Like
the original intention, right, was like we'll put out one of these a year, and it'll be Modern legal and Commander legal. Yeah, and like because when they first announced it, everybody's like, "Commander, you've got to ban this. You're a fan format. You can't." And we're like, "What are we going to tell Wizards not to make cards?" And also, like, how am I going to explain this 5 years from now? You banned like these random cards that nobody's ever seen before, like the friggin' Walking Dead cards. Yeah. For what? And they've got no gameplay, like. There's no gameplay reason to ban them. But like, I think if they had left these Eternal legal, like the way they'd intended, but then they're like, well, we got to make them Eternal playable. So we got to pump the power. Like, no, you don't. You can just make a normal set.
Exactly.
And just have it be legal and be like make it standard power level. Just make it Modern legal. So the folks like me who want to just play like level 2, EDH decks can probably do it.
Play like low power stuff. And like, we love building around themes. Like, let me build a bracket 2, like UB deck. Like, my favorite thing to do with these UB sets is build commander decks that are just only use cards from the set. Right. So I have a Frodo and Sam deck that's only Lord of the Rings cards. I have, a Final Fantasy deck that's only Final Fantasy cards. I'm building an Avatar deck that's only Avatar cards. They're not strong, right? They're limited, but limitations are what make Commander so fun.
My absolute favorite way to play is to take a box of any set and build a Commander deck out of that box.
Oh my gosh.
That is the beginning and end of what I get to use. It's super fun. It's hella fun, so and it's very limiting, and the power gets capped because there's no soul rings in standard legal sets, right? Like,
yeah.
But at the same time, you don't feel you get a full holistic view of what the set mechanic is and the flavor, and it feels cohesive.
Yes.
Right. Like,
and that cohesion is what I feel like is starting to degrade. Right. As you're putting these anachronistic characters together. Like, I just can't buy Spider-Man fighting Michelangelo. Right. Like, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah. But
and the vibes are just off. The vibes are off.
No, I mean, dude, look, you're not going to get any disagreement from me, but it's also really, really funny that the way some of these synergies work, where like Spider-Man India can come in and like, whip Avatar Aang out of the table because it's tapped, and then like, get to web sling in or whatever. It's like, there's going to be some bizarre setups where it's like, I need this person tapped, so I'm going to pilot this motorcycle, and then I'm going to web sling them out of there. It's like, what the hell is going on? But that's just Magic, right? Like, at the end of the day, like, what I realized when I was playing Spider-Man, or when I was playing Through the Omen Paths, whatever the hell it was, where it's like, okay, look, once you start playing, then all of the pictures and names kind of just disappear, and what matters is the stats and the part on the table. But like, I'm building a food deck right now, and this food deck has a Spider-Man in it, and it's got a bunch of Lord of the Rings guys, and it's got a crap ton of actual core Magic things. But the core unifying theme is food tokens and Ygritte eating them all. And so, like, we will find a way, but it's so jarring, but
Yeah.
like to initially see. And then once you kind of get past that, you're like, whatever, I'm still tapping 2 to counter this spell, whatever, whether it's the quenchiest or it's a cancel.
Yeah.
I think it's the quenchiest is the dumbest name in the history of mankind, but I
Oh,
accept it. I accept it. It's fine. Whatever.
That's another episode. We'll argue about that on another episode.
Yeah, but you know what's weird though? It's like at the same time, they put out the Street Fighter UB set, and I'm like, you know what? I will bend over backwards to play these cards. So
I know, and that's what's so frustrating for me is like I'll complain, but then they announce The Hobbit, and I'm like, shoot, I'm gonna be
here
a wreck. I'm like, this is gonna ruin my family summer because I'm gonna spend all of our vacation money on the Hobbit cards. Right. So like, it's a total contradiction. But
it's a weird world sometimes.
I don't know. It is. But am I going to buy enough extra Hobbit cards to offset the fact that I won't buy any Marvel cards? I don't know. I don't know.
I am definitely off the Marvel train, but I've been off the Marvel train for many, many years.
Yeah, like I've just never been interested in the Marvel stuff.
Look, dude, I've got like 1 dot in comic book, and like the rest of my like attributes are in like RPGs and like novels.
Yeah, that's right. Where I'm at too.
Like I just don't care about comic books, and I don't care about modern world stories. I want my escapism to feel very different. I don't need to have my racial problems right now and my class problems and societal problems in the world, except there's also dudes in underwear running around who can fly, but I'm still not one of them, right? Like the only thing I'm going to buy from a Marvel set is if they come up with like Miss Marvel, because Kamala Khan is awesome, and I love
Miss
that show.
Marvel.
Yes, that would be so good.
Would be cool. Yeah,
that would be so good.
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, look, they gave me Spider-Man India, and it's like literally the best card in the set, so I will take it.
Yeah. And that's where ultimately I come back to like, I can enjoy Magic as a game system, and I can look at these cards and say, hey, when I'm building this deck right here, I'm fine putting Spider-Man cards or Star Trek cards or whatever, because I just want to build the funnest deck to play. I'll put flavor aside. Other decks for EDH, I go, this is a flavorful deck, and I'm only putting stuff in here that's flavorful. So that means no Spider-Man cards. I've been working on a deck. I posted about it on Blue Sky. It's called Jump Scare, and it's a Satoru Umezawa deck. And he gives every creature in your hand ninjutsu. So ninjutsu is an ability where it's an unblocked attacker.
It's web sling.
It's kind of like whip sling. Absolutely. But you can swap it with an unblocked attacker with a card in your hand. And so the deck I've built it's all like traditional Magic cards. Except the ninjutsu targets, the big bombs are all silly Universes Beyond cards. So it's all like Spider-Man or like Horizon or Avatar or SpongeBob. So it's like, you think you're playing normal Magic and then bam, like SpongeBob. And it's just like, it's just a goofy deck, and I have fun with that. And, Universes Beyond enables that. Yeah. So I do see their like value there, like, as long as you change your perspective. But I've also been writing about Magic for a long time, and one of the stories I wrote for Reactor a number of years ago was about storytelling in Magic. That's when they started getting, like Cassandra Caw and Kate Elliott and Brandon Sanderson doing fiction, which has been amazing for the game. As I was talking to like Kate Elliott and Cass,
Kate is so cool.
She's the best, the absolute best person I know. But I was thinking back to being a kid and discovering Magic, and I grew up loving science fiction, Star Trek, Star Wars, Tom Swift, like just read science fiction, Michael Crichton. And then around grade 7, I switched over to being more into fantasy, and I always attributed that to reading The Hobbit. But I realized what actually introduced me to Magic to fantasy was Magic. It was slinging fireballs, casting spells, playing all of these, these cards. And so I have that strong association with like what I want from the Magic, like Magic as a narrative experience. And that is what you're describing is like, I want it to feel fantastical. I want it to introduce me to new worlds, new characters, new ideas, new themes, new adventures. And some of the Universes Beyond stuff just doesn't do that. So if it's not a set that's tapping into one of my fandoms, like The Hobbit,
Sure.
then it's like, it's just not for me. And I worry that that's going to be true for a lot of existing Magic fans. And I just don't know that the game, I was curious to see the numbers,
Yeah.
as numbers come out, and to see whether like retention of like new fans is really outpacing drop off of longstanding fans.
I mean, look, dude, I'm not going to buy the inevitable K-pop Demon Hunter set or Secret Lair that comes out because I just don't care. Yeah. But there's going to be people who do, and like that's awesome. The golden, go get it.
I love Secret Lairs. I think it's like stuff
Secret
like
Lairs
that
is how it should be. Honestly, that's that's a perfect vehicle for this.
Absolutely love
like
Secret
the folks
Lairs
who really want it can get it, and the rest can walk away.
Yeah. It should just all be opt-in. And so like ultimately, like again, I come back to the idea. I think putting it in standard and making it a product that you can't avoid or that you're not choosing to like, it was the thing that really turned my opinion of it. Cause
like that's the thing. Like I can't imagine like when you're sitting there and watching a standard tournament, like I'm a Pro Tour fanboy going a long time back. And it's just weird for me to imagine like Shota Yasuoka or like Frank Carson sitting there going like, okay, well, I'm going to play Spider-Man Noir and then I'm going to, airbend it away so that I can play like what? No, what the hell is this? This is what in Smash Brothers is going on. But at this, like, and I feel like I'm devil's advocating here because like I agree with you mostly, but also at the same time, I've seen so many people come in through these sets who just find the game and love it. And I know I discovered the game because like I saw somebody cast a fireball at Shivan Dragon, and that's like all I needed as a longtime D&D and Dragonlance fanboy to be like, yes, fantasy as a game, this is what I need. But the kids like you that works for us because we're old and we have these references. Today's kids, what are their references, man? Like if giving people has-been hotel cards or like I don't know, whatever kids based fantasy like Owl House or something, if that's what it takes, then I want more people playing. And
and absolutely, because like at the end of the day, Magic's not a game just designed for you or me.
I mean, I wish it was. It would be better.
It's like I mean, I could make it could be perfect if it was for me, but recognizing that there are so many other people that the game could appeal to that just need to be introduced to it. And you know what? Avatar has been a gateway for my 11-year-old, right? She loves Avatar. She loves Korra. And this is one of the first sets where she's like invested in me building this commander deck. Like she likes looking through my cards here and there. She's sort of working on a dinosaur commander deck, but like Avatar, she's like looking through the cards. She's remembering the show. She's like, there's a strong emotional connection there. And so, again, if it's reaching new and younger fans, that's great. But does that need to be in standard, or would that work better as a standalone sort of opt-in? If I could just go to Walmart, and buy 4 Avatar decks that I could play with my kids.
Jumpstart is the way.
Jumpstart is
I bought Avatar Jumpstart specifically because I want to play it with my wife and kids because I know they both love Avatar and they want to play, but they don't want to deal with the deck building part of it. It's like great,
fabulous.
Fine,
Jumpstart is the perfect product for stuff like this. And if they just did if there was a Ninja Turtles Jumpstart and it was just a Ninja Turtles Jumpstart and maybe a couple of commander decks or whatever, 4 commander decks for each turtle, man, perfect. It's great.
Or even just as they had like the supplemental masters, the reprint sets and stuff that they used to just put out once in a while. Like just put it on it. I mean, but the thing is, I also understand the Aaron Forsyth point of like, hey, people buy these cards by the pound and would really like to play them somewhere. And it sucks when they go to a store with their Final Fantasy deck and can't play it anywhere except in a modern tournament. And the guys playing modern are playing MH3 Tribal and come in with the Ragavons and whatever and just, skull crack you. And you're sitting there going like, I wanted to play Cloud. What happened?
Yeah.
Like there is that.
Yeah.
Right.
That's interesting too. And, my perspective of just like playing Magic with the same friends I've been playing Magic with for 25 years also skews things. Right. Cause that is a good point that you do want people to be able to go in and play Magic, but I think there are other solutions to that don't necessarily like warp the game as much as
I
this
think the
did. And
key is also what topic you choose to bring into Magic. That makes a
yeah,
big difference.
yeah,
Like if I've always said if they had started with Street Fighter instead of Walking Dead, there would have been no resistance to like
yeah,
that
yeah,
secret layer introduction or a UB introduction. If they had
yeah,
started with Lord of the Rings, that would have been just like the easiest slam dunk in the world. But
yes,
like Spider-Man is so incongruous with this
yeah,
the setting.
yeah. And it's like, it's hard. It sucks to rag on Spider-Man because, like, obviously Spider-Man's a huge IP,
Sure,
right? Like,
it's
hugely
Spider-Man.
popular.
Everybody in the universe
Yeah,
knows Spider-Man.
like it, yeah, but because it feels anachronistic, like I follow Magic very closely. Like I write about Magic. Like I spend
Yeah, right.
at least 25% of my time thinking about Magic. Like at any given on any given day. You know, like while I'm at work, while you know, like,
Right,
and
exactly.
for the longest time, I assumed Spider-Man was like a commander set, like Doctor Who, and then I found out like it was probably like
Whoopsie
August,
doo.
and I was like, wait, this is a standard set, like really?
It was
Um,
supposed to have been a commander set.
yeah, I know, and that's the
Mm-mm,
other
mm-mm.
problem that like I worry that the people making the decisions are doing so for the wrong reasons. And the fact that there's not consistency among these standard sets, like Spider-Man not getting commander decks, and then also not being on Arena because of licensing issues.
Yeah.
Avatar not getting commander decks. Like, are you kidding me? There's 4 like nations in Avatar and you're not going to release one commander deck
It
per
seems
nation? Like, what's
really,
going on
yeah,
here?
but look,
Right. And so
you
like
know that the Airbender set would be very, very sparse.
somebody said, so I read on Reddit, somebody said it would be skeleton tribal or
Yeah, it
typo.
would be like, look, it's one guy.
Yeah, it's just Aang.
It's just
150
Aang
cards.
and
Yeah.
99 planes.
Yeah, and a regeneration spell.
Oh
Um,
my god.
but I just like the fact that there's Jumpstart is great, but the fact that I can't just go and buy a product that's like a self-contained game for an Avatar card game based on Magic, like I just feel like there's an opportunity there. I think Magic's game system is the best.
Mm.
It's the best game in the world. And it can support this. And I don't mind it being used to make a Star Trek
See,
card game. I don't mind it being used to make a Spider-Man card game that's compatible with the Marvel card game
it's
that
funny
can
that you
also
say
integrate
like,
into like
yeah,
people's play groups if they want. But give people options, give people choices, give people like allow it to be a range from super casual, like my brothers and his friends just buying the Fallout set. And that's what Magic is to them. They play their Fallout decks to like,
us.
competitive vintage formats to us. Exactly. Like, I don't just trying to make Magic something for everyone is very challenging.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny you say like Magic is a system of many games because I've come to the conclusion that not only is Magic just its own umbrella of multiple games underneath, but even something like Commander is an umbrella of multiple
yeah.
games underneath.
Oh yeah.
It is
Yeah.
Magic is a system of systems, not even just
Yes.
one system.
Yeah.
It is like because with the hybrid discussions that people have been having lately, where they're like, "Oh, you know what? It needs to feel like hybrid doesn't the rest of Magic." I'm like, "Well, Commander's not Magic.
No,
Commander
it's a
is
different game.
the rest
Yeah.
of Magic doesn't have a command zone. The
Uh-huh.
rest of Magic doesn't have 99 card limitation. It's like
Yeah.
there is things that make
Yeah.
this. We use the game pieces you give us in
Yes.
an entirely different way."
Yeah.
Just because you think that this game piece needs to be used in this way, if you make a loaf of bread and say, I have made a sandwich loaf and I take it home and instead I use it to feed the ducks, that's my choice to take this product and use it how I want to, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't need to conform to the needs of the creator. And that's all I'm going to say about that one.
And like, I just, that's what I love about Magic is so much community driven innovation with Magic. Some of the best experiences I've ever had with the game are because of the community innovating, like whether it's creating Elder Dragon Highlander,
Yes.
between rounds at the Pro Tour or whatever the history was there, to like, me and my friends just coming up with stupid draft formats, right? Like my friend loves creating silly little draft formats. Some of them are awful. Some of them are great. He
Or
does
even
3-pack,
Victoria
like,
coming up with Canlander.
yeah, exactly. Canadian Highlander, like, happening at Yellow Jacket and becoming what it has now. And it's like that. You can just never take that away, because that to me is the strength of Magic, is you give players the tools and they will make magic out of it. Right.
It feels like the dichotomy that was brought up in the Lego movie, which is I can either be the best there is at building the thing on the box, or I can just take this pile of pieces and come up with my own spaceship, and it's going to be awesome. And both ways are fine and fair.
Yeah.
The pieces exist. You do what you want with them.
Yeah.
And you're right. I think this is, like, honestly, man, the only reason we even talk about this, it's like, it sounds negative, but really we do it because we love Magic.
Yeah.
Like, this game is hella fun.
Absolutely.
It
means so much to me, and I want it to reach as many people and make as many people happy as possible. I want this to thrive
and survive. And it's okay if I set out or two, it'll be good for my wallet. And if it finds fans, God bless, may they enjoy it. And we'll all come back. And the thing about Commander or whatever is that I can pull my deck out and you can pull your deck out and we can still sit and play, and it's going to be fine.
Yes.
It'll be fine. Relax. Yeah, man, good talk. I didn't necessarily know where I was going to go with you, but I was like, because we could have talked about Tad Williams all day. We could have talked about Suikoden or Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest. But I was like, I've got to make sure we can talk about Magic.
Yes. I can talk about Magic.
Yeah, like, right? Like, I know that this is a thing we could both do. But you also have another show called Fun Factor. What is that?
Yeah. So Fun Factor is a podcast I co-host with my friend Ty Schalter. And we started it in April. So it's still fairly new, but we're
of 2025.
Episode 20. Yeah, of 2025. That's right. We're about to hit episode 20 or so. And so the main show is bi-weekly, and every episode we pick an old gaming magazine. And so the pitch of the show is, two old gamers reviewing old video game reviews. And so every episode we pick a magazine. We're focused right now on sort of the generation leap between the Super NES and the PlayStation, looking at how games transformed, pick a magazine from that era. We do a flip through, looking at funny ads or finding the rumors section, or looking at, like how did they cover the Saturn release, for instance, or what were they saying about the M2, way back when. And then as we get through, we look at what games journalism meant to us as kids growing up, why it and how it shaped us into who we are now, both journalists, but also how it changed the way we think about or write about games nowadays, right? Like all of the kids, it was kids writing for kids back then.
Right.
And now all those initial, kid writers are grown-ups, and that shape how we think about and talk about games. And so, we try to contextualize a lot of that with modern games journalism, modern games media and community and culture. And then as we get to the end of the episode, we pick out a review from that issue. We read through the review, and then we give our thoughts. Just, did they hit it? Did they get that the game was going to be as big as it was? Is it soft? Is it, what does it have a lot to say? Does it not? Does it need to? And we give it a funny rating at the end of every episode. And it's been a lot of fun. We cover games. The most recent episode, which we released last week, was Castlevania Symphony of the Night. We've done Final Fantasy VI. We've done, White Man Can't Jump. We've done Carnage Heart, which I had never heard of until Ty picked it out.
You guys should do the Robin Hood Robin Hood the movie, the NES game.
That would be good.
Do you remember that?
I know I never played that one, but I might go play it upstairs.
Nintendo Power had a lot of coverage dedicated to Robin Hood the game.
Nintendo Power's been an interesting one because it was a publicity mag, but it had good content as well. So it's been a lot of fun going back and revisiting a lot of memories, but also recognizing how games journalism needed to grow up. But also not just, being super critical of what's going on and recognizing the enthusiasm, recognizing the love that a lot of these writers had for a growing, industry and creative medium. So it's a lot of fun. We try to have fun. We try to be thoughtful. And then, we also have bonus episodes with guests, which has been a lot of fun. So we've had Molly Patterson, who, has worked on a million bajillion things and is wonderful. We even had Gavin Verhey talking about Final Fantasy Magic cards with us, and then we found a review of Final Fantasy VII in a copy of Scry magazine. I think it was Scry or the Duelist or whatever. So like we were able to connect the dots there and just have a ton of fun along the way. So you can find the show at funfactorpod.com. We're also on Blue Sky, on all the podcast apps.
Yeah. It's funny you meant, like, when my first job out of college was working at 1UP, which was owned by Ziff Davis. And the first thing I did when I walked in the door was I went over to EGM, which was like the next room over, because I had been a lifelong EGM reader. Yeah. And the first thing I did was I went and I met Dan Shu, who has since become a very, very good friend of mine. Yeah. And I was like, who is Sushi X? I need to know who Sushi X is. I need to know where these rooms. And he's like, oh, it's whoever I assigned that week. And I'm like, no, my dreams have been shattered. What? Yeah. It's not a real person. It's like, no, we just needed a face for the rumors. It's fine. And I'm like, no. I was so...
Yeah. Everybody wanted to know, right? Like every kid
who did the Akuma
in the 90s and through the 2000s. But that was one of the first ones as I started. The show has definitely introduced me to a lot of wonderful people, and hunting down the origins of Sushi X was definitely one of the mysteries that I tried to solve fairly quickly. But there's also, like, sticking with EGM, like Ed Samrad, who was the editor in chief of EGM for a while. So cool. Like, I don't know who it was, but somebody was like, oh yeah, no, we wrote all of his reviews. So there'd be capsule reviews, like, attributed, like, in every magazine issue to Ed, and I don't think
but it's like there was that era of just game journalism. Like, when I got in there, it was right at the beginning of new game journalism, when people were first starting to explore the notion that you can write a game review that's not just, this game's got 38 pixels and is really good and you should buy it, and you can actually put your emotions and your charisma and your life experiences into
personality driven games journalism.
It was a golden age, man. It was a good time. But that's
I can't even begin to explain how much that era of 1UP changed my life.
I can explain how much it changed my life.
Like, I can't even imagine being in that building the way that you were. Like, I don't even, man, 1UP Show and 1UP Yours and 1UP.com and just all of it. Dude, and then
working with Jane Pinkard, working with Jeremy Parrish, just like some of the some of the greatest writers we've ever had.
Yeah. They have had such a huge impact on me, and I would love to do a whole season actually on that transitional period around 1UP and the way that they, like, dude, saw the future so far ahead.
People will never believe me, but I went to Sam Kennedy and I was like, you know what? We should do a podcast where we talk about video games the way all these podcasts I listen to are. And he's like, that sounds like a good idea. And then a few months later, Jane Pinkard's like, and now on 1UP Yours, is like, we're doing a podcast, and that became like the template for one of the greatest, like, just like now every video game company's got like 6 podcasts or whatever. Yeah. And I feel real proud about that one.
Yeah, you should, because 1UP, all of them, like
1UP shows just,
I'm still a huge Retronauts fan, and 1UP show was so far ahead of its time. I love, there's a good archive on YouTube of all the old 1UP
yes, it is
show episodes. It's so good, and it's like, again, whole other episode just talking about how revolutionary that work was.
You should have me on your show sometime.
100% would love that.
Oh yeah. Amazing. So folks wanted to find you, where could they go?
I'm on Blue Sky way too much. I'm at aidenmoher.com on Blue Sky. I do have a website, aidenmoher.com, but also Fun Factor Podcast bi-weekly. You can, get all the main episodes for free. We do have memberships that get you access to the bonus episodes and, exclusive Discord channels and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm on the Fun Factor Discord a lot. I'm on Blue Sky way too much.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This has been a great talk. I really appreciated it, especially since apparently I had more about Tukuden I needed to get out of my system than I thought. Yes. But as always, my friends, you guys can find me at Blue Sky at Shivam Bhatt. You can find this podcast anywhere podcasts are sold, or at YouTube every Tuesday, thanks to my editor, Dan. And you can also hear me on Shivam Wheeler Love Magic or the Chronicles of Dragonlance podcast. And remember, my friends, it's not magic without the gathering, and we'll see you next time.